have this. Do I still have 20 minutes or what is the time? 20 minutes, yeah. Something about the researcher role, because I think this is an important issue. The kind of research, and this is of course related to my own personal experiences, so I have gone in the direction of what we call interactive research, which means that I'm not talking about desk research. I think there is a place for desk research where you don't need to ask anyone. You go into the existing databases and analyze them. And this is not what I have been up to, and I certainly see the relevance for that. And in fact, I see the need for myself to do more of that combined type of research, together with scholars who are skilled in that kind of research. But when you go in the direction of qualitative research, which means that you meet with people, at least to hand out questionnaires, but even more if you make interviews or if you make observations. There are different action researcher roles to take. There is on the slide 3 different roles. One is insider action research. Some researchers have chosen this approach. This means the typical pattern is that, for example, consultants in a consultancy organization is doing research upon the organization in which he or she is employed, which means that there is a specific kind of participant observation involved. But it's different if you are not hired by that company, and if that, because the insider action research role means that you are a part. The third is I call interactive research. In Western Europe nowadays, within the EU system, it has become more and more popular, I think, as a response to this lack of relevance between the academic world and the practical world, that researchers are encouraged to participate in ongoing projects in order to follow them, to make observations, to make contributions, to take part in the evaluation of the projects. Because, you know, the EU thinking is that you should do projects, and then you will have a better world. And in order to reach that, you also need to evaluate the projects. And now here is a place for researchers to do just this. However, a variation of this is to have a more free role, which means that as a researcher you take part of the project or the process, you are in it, but you are not obliged to give recommendations. You are allowed to reflect upon what have even critical reflections. This is different from the ongoing evaluation researcher role. So, what to say about this? Well, number one means that as a PhD student, for example, you need to be hired by a company. I know at least two is, so you are in that category. And Shelley, you are maybe in the second one because you start the businesses and maybe do the research on them also. However, not everyone can choose these two. And if I start to propose this idea, some would feel very uncomfortable because what should I do? What should I do if I should be an active researcher? Do I need to, above all the pressures that the academic world puts on me, should I also start businesses and entrepreneurial endeavors? And for insider action research role, you need to have that connection. And often, also for these both roles, it would not be advisable for a young PhD candidate to try out this. I think personally that you need to have been living some at least 1 decade after your undergraduate education, maybe several. While the interactive research roles are more relevant, I think, for young researchers. So, say something about closeness and distance, because I think these are crucial things in these kinds of roles. You need both. Closeness, you need to get a deeper understanding. And distance, you need in order to be able to enable critical reflections. When I first started out in action research, I was that kind of young and active researcher, and that didn't work so well, because when I should evaluate the outcome of what I did, almost all I could say is that, well, the clients appreciated what we did, but that does not add any knowledge about anything, more than saying that maybe I was friendly towards the people I met. Maybe they liked me, or it might be that they sensed that I put so much effort in it, so they wanted to give me a positive credit in response. But really, what was very difficult was to enable critical reflection on what I myself did. Compared to Johansson, which did this research at the age of 60 or so, I would say yes, he was able to make critical reflections even about the things he was undertaking, the research process he staged. He was able to take a critical reflection. But what should be considered in his case is that he did and documented this process, and then he waited for a couple of years. And I think that this is one way of making critical reflection possible, that you do not try to make it immediately, because then it's impossible to have that kind of critical stance toward what you're self-involved in. So, in that sense, closeness and distance are needed to get deep insights. As a young researcher, I think you can do this, because given that you are not staging the process, but you have that kind of free role, and I think in that sense it's also positive if you are not assigned to do an evaluation. Because what happened to a young researcher when you should do an evaluation? Well, you are forced to go into the textbooks to find the correct answer, and exactly in the way of, as I demonstrated with this top-cited article, you only reproduce what is written in the textbooks. So you add nothing new. In order to add something, in order to make some new knowledge coming out, this critical reflection is crucial, I think. So, now I see that my time, let's just quickly go for the last slides. There is another critical issue when it comes to talk about how should those researchers who go for narrative approach go about